In a quiet valley surrounded by tall blue mountains, there lived a young man named Aryan. Aryan was known by everyone in his village for his great ambition. He didn't just want to be a farmer or a carpenter, he wanted to achieve something legendary. He spent his days dreaming of greatness. However, Aryan had a restless spirit. He was like a fire that burned very bright but went out very quickly. Whenever Aryan started a new project, he began with a lot of excitement. One week, he decided to learn how to carve wood. He bought the best tools and sat down to work. But when his first bird carving didn't look perfect after 1 hour, he threw the tools away in anger. "This is too slow," he complained. The next week, he tried to learn about the stars, but when he couldn't memorize their names in one night, he closed the books and never opened them again. Aryan was unhappy because he felt like he was standing still while the world moved forward. He felt like a failure because he couldn't find a shortcut to success. One afternoon, Aryan decided to visit his teacher, an old monk who lived in a small wooden hut near a great waterfall. Aryan found the teacher sitting quietly, watching the water fall from the high cliffs. "Teacher," Aryan said, his voice trembling with frustration, "I work hard, but I get nowhere. I want to be a master of many things, but everything takes years. Is there a faster way? Is there a secret path to success that doesn't require so much waiting?" The old teacher didn't answer immediately. Instead, he handed Aryan a small wooden cup. "Go to the bottom of the waterfall," the teacher said. "Fill this cup, but you must only use the tiny drops of mist that fly off the rocks. Do not dip the cup into the river." Aryan thought this was a strange task, but he obeyed. He stood near the splashing water for an hour. Tiny drops fell into his cup one by one. Drip, drip, drip. It was incredibly slow. Aryan's arms began to ache. He wanted to scream and just dip the cup into the deep river to finish the job. But he remembered the teacher's words and stayed still. After several hours, the cup was finally full. He walked back to the hut and gave it to the teacher. "You see this cup, Aryan?" the teacher asked. "To fill it, you had to stay in one place. You had to be calm. If you had moved your hand every time you got bored, the cup would still be empty. Success is exactly like this cup. Most people fail not because they aren't strong, but because they keep moving their cup before it is full." Then the teacher pointed to the waterfall itself. "Look at the water falling from the cliff. It looks powerful, doesn't it? But why is the stone underneath it so smooth and hollowed out? Is it because the water hit the stone once with a huge hammer? No, it is because the water has been hitting that exact same spot, drop by drop, for 1,000 years." The teacher continued, "The water is the softest thing in the world, yet it can defeat the hardest rock. It doesn't use strength, it uses time and consistency. The water never says, 'I am tired of hitting this rock today. I will try hitting that tree instead.' It stays on its path." Aryan looked at the clear water in his cup. He thought about his unfinished carvings and his unread books. He realized that he had been jumping from one thing to another, never allowing his drops to fill the cup. He was trying to be the waterfall's power without the water's patience. "From now on," the teacher said kindly, "do not ask how fast you can reach the end. Ask yourself if you are moving in the right direction and if you are willing to keep moving even when it feels slow. The person who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." Aryan returned to his village with a new heart. He picked up his wood-carving tools again. This time, when his work didn't look perfect, he didn't get angry. He simply smiled and said, "Just one more drop." He worked every single day for just 1 hour with focus and peace. Years passed, and Aryan became the most famous artist in the land. People traveled from far away to see his work. When they asked him, "Aryan, what is the secret of your amazing skill?" he would simply point to a small wooden cup on his table and smile. He had finally reached his ocean, not by running, but never stopping.